You think you are awake. You hear this voice, feel the world around you. Everything feels so solid and real, doesn't it? But what if I told you that your waking state, your dreams, and your deep sleep are all different layers of a vast journey of consciousness, and your true self is present beyond all of these, like a silent witness? This is not imagination, but the essence of that spiritual knowledge thousands of years old, which has tried to understand the deepest mysteries of human consciousness. What is this world?
Who am I?
Am I the one entangled in happiness and sorrow, fear and desires? Or the one calmly observing this entire experience? Today, we will uncover the layers of consciousness one by one, which we consider life. We will attempt to reach the waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and ultimately that mysterious Turiya state, which the Mandukya Upanishad calls the heart of complete Advaita Vedanta. This Upanishad, consisting of only 12 mantras, claims that if truly understood, the greatest secret of the soul, Brahman, Omkara, and consciousness can be revealed. So come with me on this profound spiritual journey, because the truth about to unfold today may forever change the way you see yourself. Let us begin our exploration from what we consider most real, the waking state, the very state you are in right now. The device in your hand, the surrounding sounds, this room, this world. Everything feels so solid and true, doesn't it? The Mandukya Upanishad calls this state waking, and the experiencer of it, Vishvanara. Vishvanara, meaning the consciousness that flows outward into the external world. The Upanishad calls this Bahish Prajna, that is, consciousness that knows external objects. We see with our eyes, hear with our ears, and feel touch with our skin. We believe this is the ultimate reality. But wait a moment. Have you ever wondered what the world you call actually is? Science says that color, sound, and smell do not exist outside. Outside, there are only vibrations, waves, and signals. Your brain converts them into form, color, and experience. In other words, what you understand as the real world is an experience created within your consciousness.
Now a profound question arises. Even in dreams, you see, hear, fear, run, and cry. At that time, the dream feels just as real as this waking world seems now. So what is the difference? Is it possible that our waking state is also a vast dream of consciousness, just more organized, more stable? Advaita Vedanta and the Mandukya Upanishad point to this mystery. Gaudapadacharya says, there is duality in both waking and dreaming. In both, there is an I that is experiencing some other world. And this duality, this separation, is the root of Maya. Just as the world of dreams arises from the mind of the dreamer, similarly, this waking world may also be an experience manifested in the vast expanse of consciousness. We have limited ourselves to the body, name, and memories. But what if this is not our ultimate identity? What if the I is not what this world sees, but rather the one who is seeing the seer? The Mandukya Upanishad says, Vishvanara is only the first and outermost level of consciousness. It is merely the first covering, not the ultimate truth. And now, the next layer of consciousness is going to take us into an even more mysterious world, the world of dreams. When you sleep at night, The outside world gradually fades away. The waking world begins to disappear. But consciousness does not end. You enter another world, the world of dreams. The Mandukya Upanishad calls this state dream, and the experiencer of it, Taijasa. Taijasa meaning made of light, because this world is not created by any external object, but by the mind's own light. Here consciousness flows inward, not outward. Therefore, the Upanishad calls it Anta Pragya, inner consciousness. The world of dreams is wonderful. The physical laws do not remain constant there. You can fly, meet memories from years ago, reach places that never existed. And the most surprising thing, this entire world is created by your own mind. The sky of the dream, the people in the dream, fear, joy, dialogue, everything is an internal creation of consciousness. You are the creator, you are the spectator, and you are the character in that story. But here the biggest question arises. When you are dreaming, do you know that it is a dream? No. At that time, fear feels real, joy feels real, even pain feels real. You become completely immersed in that experience and forget that your real body is lying peacefully somewhere else. And here the Mandukya Upanishad gives a very profound hint. Just as in a dream you consider yourself a fictional character, similarly in the waking state you also limit yourself to the body, name, and mind. You say, I am this body, I am this mind. And then with this identification, happiness and sorrow, fear, desire, and struggle begin. But as soon as you wake up from the dream, the entire dream world ends. The character you were considering as I in the dream dissolves. Then you realize that you were not that character. You were the one experiencing the entire dream. So is it possible that Vishvanara, the universal self, is also not the ultimate truth? Is this waking I also just a temporary character of consciousness? And is there someone who is watching both the waking and the dream? This very question leads us to the next and most mysterious layer of consciousness, deep sleep. That state where neither the world remains nor dreams. Yet, something still remains. The waking state has ended. The dream has also vanished. Now you are in deep, dreamless sleep. Here there is neither the world, nor the body, nor thoughts, nor memories. Time seems to have stopped. Just a deep silence, an infinite peace. The Mandukya Upanishad calls this state Sushupti, and the one who experiences it, Prajna. At first glance, this state seems like emptiness. That is why people often assume that consciousness ends in deep sleep. But just think, if there really was nothing there, then how do you say after waking, I had very deep sleep today, felt great happiness, there were no dreams? To know that there was nothing, someone's presence there is necessary. And this is the very subtle secret of the Mandukya Upanishad. Sushupti is not the absence of consciousness, but the absence of objects. In the waking state, consciousness illuminates external objects. In the dream, the same consciousness illuminates the images of the mind. But in Sushupti, when no object remains, consciousness abides in itself. Like a lamp burning in an empty room, there is nothing to see in the room, yet the light is present. Similarly, in Sushupti, consciousness remains silently present. The Mandukya Upanishad calls the knower Prajna, the dense form of consciousness. Here, the knower, the process of knowing, and the known all three temporarily become one. Perhaps this is the reason why after deep sleep, a person feels light, calm, and refreshed. At that moment, ego, fear, and mental struggle dissolve at their source. But even here, a mystery remains. If deep sleep were the ultimate truth, then you would never wake up again. After some time, the same I, the same world, the same desires, and the same struggles return. This means Prajna is not the ultimate either. Now before us are three layers of consciousness. Vishvanara, who experiences the external world. Taijasa, who moves in the inner world of dreams. Prajna, who rests in blissful emptiness. These three experiences keep changing. But is there someone who watches these three coming and going? Who is the one who knows that I was awake, I dreamed, I was in deep sleep? And here the Mandukya Upanishad opens the door to its deepest secret. Because now we are about to enter Turiya, that silent consciousness which is beyond waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Not inward consciousness, not outward consciousness, not both consciousnesses, not the mass of consciousness, not consciousness, not non-consciousness. This seventh mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad does not describe Turiya as an object. It first tells what Turiya is not. It is neither the inner consciousness of the dream state, nor the outer consciousness of the waking state, nor a mixture of both. It is not the dense peace of deep sleep. It is neither ordinary knowledge nor ignorance. So then, what is Turiya? The Upanishad further says, invisible, intangible, imperceptible, without characteristics, inconceivable, indescribable, peaceful, auspicious, non-dual. Meaning, that which cannot be seen because it is the seer itself. That which cannot be grasped because it is the basis of all experience. That which cannot be bound by words because words manifest within it. That which the mind cannot comprehend because the mind itself operates in its light. The Mandukya Upanishad says, that is peace, that is non-duality, that is the self. That alone is knowable. And here the greatest mystery is revealed. Turiya is not a fourth state that comes after waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. No. Turiya is present at all times. Even now. At this very moment. Waking changes. Dreaming changes. Deep sleep also changes. But the one who is watching these three come and go never changes. When you say, I am awake, there is someone who is aware of the waking state. When you say, I dreamed, there is someone who is remembering the dream. And when you say, I was in deep sleep, there is someone who has known that emptiness as well. That same witnessing consciousness is Turiya. It is not Vishvanara, which is lost in the world. It is not Taijasa, which creates dreams. It is not Prajna, which merges into peace. It is the pure light that illuminates all three. Just as clouds come and go in the sky, but the sky itself does not change. Similarly, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep are states that arise in consciousness. Turiya itself is the pure sky of consciousness. And this is the deepest revelation of the Mandukya Upanishad. You are that. You are not just the body, which keeps changing with time. You are not just the mind, in which thoughts arise and fade away. You are not just the ego, which identifies itself with every experience. You are the silent witness, in which this entire life is happening. When you simply observe thoughts without getting immersed in them, when you feel emotions without binding yourself to them,
when complete silence descends within for a few moments, then a glimpse of Turiya appears. That is the self. That is Brahman. That is the silence of Omkara. That is the ultimate truth of Advaita Vedanta.
Now the question arises, how can this truth be experienced?
The Mandukya Upanishad provides the answer in Omkara. The Upanishad says, Soyam Atma Adhyaksharam Omkara, meaning, this self manifests as Omkara. Omkara is not merely a sound, but a symbol of the entire journey of consciousness. It consists of three sacred sounds, Akar, Ukar, Makar, followed by silence. That very silence points towards Turiya. Akar, the first sound of Omkara. When it is pronounced, the mouth opens fully. It symbolizes the waking state and Vishvanara, where consciousness experiences the external world. The physical world, the body, the senses, name, and form, all belong to the realm of Akar. Just as Akar is considered the foundation of all sounds, the waking state appears to be the foundation of our ordinary experiences.
Ukar, the second sound of Omkara. It symbolizes inward flowing consciousness. It is associated with the dream state and Taijasa, where the mind itself creates its subtle inner world. Here, the external world is no longer active, but thoughts, memories, desires, and imaginations continue to arise within consciousness. Makar, the third sound of Omkara. In this sound, the lips gently close, and the vibration slowly dissolves into a deep resonance. It symbolizes deep sleep and Prajna, where both external and internal experiences become silent. Only profound stillness and restful awareness remain. But the greatest secret of the Mandukya Upanishad is not contained within these three sounds, but within the silence that follows them. When the resonance of Makar fades away, the silent and wordless presence that remains, that is the indication of Turiya. The Upanishad calls it Amatra, that which cannot be measured and cannot truly be expressed through words. It is within this silence that Akar arises, Ukar flows, Makar dissolves, and then everything becomes completely still. That is why the chanting of Omkara is not merely a religious tradition, but a meditative journey that leads consciousness back to its source. Akar illuminates the waking state. Ukar illuminates the dream state. Makar dissolves into deep sleep. And then, silence. That very silence is the gateway to Turiya, the fourth state of consciousness. Thoughts come and go. Emotions arise and fade away. The body changes. The world changes. Experiences continue to change. But the one witnessing all of this never changes. The Mandukya Upanishad says, that same is the self. That same is Brahman. That same is pure consciousness. That same is your true nature. You are not sound. You are that silence in which the sound of the entire existence manifests. So if this entire life is a dream of consciousness, then who are you really?
The Mandukya Upanishad takes us to the very center of this question. The waking state is Vishvanara, the dream state is Taijasa, and the deep sleep state is Prajna. These are the changing states of consciousness. Experiences keep changing, but the presence that knows them does not change. That is the Turiya. That is the witnessing consciousness. That is the self. You are not the body that changes with time. You are not the mind in which new thoughts arise every moment. You are not the ego that remains entangled in pleasure and pain. You are the silent presence in which this entire life is happening. When this understanding begins to settle within, life starts to change. Pleasure and pain no longer seem like permanent truths. Fear gradually begins to weaken. Because then you start to realize that your true nature is beyond birth and change. The Mandukya Upanishad, Advaita Vedanta, and the entire mystery of Omkara ultimately rest in this witness consciousness.
Akara, Ukara, Makara. And then silence. That very silence is your true home. The next time a thought arises, a fear comes, or a strong emotion arises within, do not immediately get carried away by it. Pause for a few moments and just observe. Who is observing? Perhaps from there begins the journey of self-realization. If during this video you have felt even for a moment inner peace, silence, or witness consciousness, then write in the comments, I am the witness. And if you want to understand the knowledge of the Upanishads, Advaita Vedanta, the Turiya State, the soul, Brahman, and such mysteries of consciousness more deeply, then become a part of this journey. Remember, you are not a wave that will be lost in the ocean. You are the infinite ocean itself, experiencing itself as a wave for a few moments.